listen to me very carefully. Don't have hobbies. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. Jeff, it's the microplastics. They're in our blood.
Yeah.
They're in our brain.
They're speaking to me right now. Let me talk. Can I talk to the microplastics for a second?
Yeah. The microplastics in me are ready to recognize the microplastics in you. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Let's talk microplastic to microplastic for a second. Like,
sure.
Seriously, how much is in there? How much? Are we talking? I know we've said a credit card's worth, but that just feels... But that's like on the low end.
Yeah, and but it also some things said like it's a credit card worth a month or that we're eating, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the 8 spiders.
Yeah.
You know, it's the 8 spiders a year now. It's like we're eating one microplastic. And I got to tell you, Jeff, I think a lot of people have really responded to this microplastics thing.
Yeah.
I did not, when I moved to the new place, I did not buy plastic Tupperware. I bought these silicone bags that suck.
Yeah. Oh, everything's worse. My favorite thing about this, my wife did this.
There's a reason why plastic became everywhere is because plastic rules.
It rules. It's awesome. And it's convenient. My wife got all glass Tupperware, which is
beautiful,
gorgeous, annoying as
gorgeous.
All hell. But also like, so what happens is
nothing better than worrying that if you pull out leftovers, you could shatter them and ruin a family heirloom.
Indeed, yes, and it has happened. Yeah, the glass shards beneath my fridge. But the best thing about this is, I go to the grocery store, I buy the groceries, I come home, they're all in plastic.
Right, you gotta remove them from the plastic immediately.
They're like.
Yeah, every carrot is a little Laura Palmer, just wrapped in plastic.
It's like putting them in the glass Tupperware is not. They've already been plasticized.
But here's the thing, Jeff. Here's the thing. It's the shards. It's the shards, and the longer you keep them in the plastic, and the more you move and jostle the plastic, right?
You mean on the truck on the way to the grocery store, or in the car on the way from the grocery store to my house? Which
all we can do is minimize. All we can do is minimize, right? And so that's where we are. We're at a place where all we can do is minimize. And so I do the same thing. I have mason jars.
Yeah.
I have glass mason jars, and I get home with my rice that comes in a plastic bag. And I pour the rice out of the plastic bag into the glass jar. I've got the silicone bags that are reusable.
I hate those things. You have to wash them. Washing a bag is the worst thing I can possibly imagine.
Dude, the minute I got them, I was like, why did I do this? Because they showed up, and like I put my lentils in them, and I put all my leftovers in them, and I was like, this is great, and I'm eating out of the bag, and I made my sauce. You know how I like to make a big sauce.
Sure.
I made my sauce, and I was like pouring my sauce out of the plastic, out of the silicone bag, and then I was like, I gotta get these lentils and this sauce out of this bag.
Yeah,
are the bags dishwasher safe? No, they're not. They're not. You have to hand wash a sandwich bag like an Amish. This is why plastics.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in the far reaches of time, my mother and my grandmother and the previous generations of my family spent days of their life simply washing out the containers in which we kept the food. Now we're like, eat shit, buddy. Container's gone. New container. Right. I have a drawer full of containers. I don't mean to brag. The whole idea of like, if only we could show the founding fathers, hey, Ben Franklin, check out how easy it is for me to eat this sandwich and throw away the leavings.
Yeah. Oh, what Ben would say if he saw my Ziploc bag with a half-eaten sandwich tossed into the dumpster. You know what I mean?
He'd probably be too busy trying to fuck everything that moved in on my block, but
he'd be like,
but he would notice. He would notice eventually.
The treatments for syphilis, he'd say. What the advancements, he'd say.
Wow, a simple pill. Who knew? It's been bothering me for years. I see. And in terms of etiquette, you now tell people when you have a sexually transmitted disease. Oh, okay.
Right.
We didn't do that.
Yes.
I've never done that.
I never once mentioned it to one of my French whores.
Never once did I ever do that. Or to the little mouse that lived in my hat and invented electricity. Do kids still watch Ben and Me? Is that a thing? I don't know.
I don't think so.
So
they
here's
don't watch
the deal.
anything.
They don't watch. They come home and they watch Coco Melon. They don't watch anything.
That's right.
Listen. Getting rid of the plastics because I'm terrified of the plastics has been such a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And not just the plastics, Jeff. I've been getting rid of like that new pan. I got a new pan and it's not a non-stick pan because of the chemicals on the non-stick pan and the Alzheimer's.
It's full stick pan?
Dude.
It's full stick.
Dude, it is full stick, bro.
Extra stick pan.
Yo, when they say non-stick pan, you have no idea how much work that's doing. It's full stick. You make an egg in a pan, it takes like 20 minutes to get that egg out of that pan. Like when I'm cleaning that pan in the sink, and I'm coating that pan with oil, dude. I'm coating it. I'm like, surely there's no way this egg is gonna stick. Yo, it's stuck, dude. It's stuck.
It's shredded egg by the end, and most of it's black for some reason. Like, why is there black on my egg now?
It's a problem. It's all problems, and it's all because, listen, all we're trying to do is we're trying to keep this plastic and these chemicals out of our blood-brain barrier.
Can I tell you something? I don't know where this story is headed, but I just watched a whole thing about Teflon.
Yeah.
And the fact that I didn't know this. Teflon was like this miracle invention that basically changed the world. And it's in everything. And then they realized, Teflon is toxic.
Yep.
And in the 80s. And so they literally changed one little variable in the creation of Teflon and called it a different thing. And then they could say it no longer contains Teflon because Teflon was just a trademarked name that then got the stink on it of being toxic. But the stuff that they're using on nonstick pans is fundamentally Teflon still.
Yeah.
It's just one tiny little change in the chemical makeup of the material. And they keep doing it. They keep like iterating on that instead of having like
it doesn't make it healthier. It just makes it different.
It's just different. It's crazy. It's like if you
Can I tell you something, Jeff?
Yeah.
Get the Teflon. As somebody who's cooking his eggs on a stick pan, on a full stick pan. Get the and that's the thing is I've been worrying about I get these mason jars. The mason jars are glass with a metal lid, but is the seal on the metal lid plastic or is it silicone or is it rubber? What is it? Because if there's any bit of plastic on there, have I done anything?
Right.
But here's what, and we're all worried about how much of this plastic is in our brain. But hey, Jeff, what if I told you? Nah.
What do you mean, nah?
What if I just told you, nah?
It's not in our brain? Or don't worry about it. It's in our brain.
Jeff, a huge article in The Guardian based on the works of several researchers in response to the huge microplastics controversy. Sorry, it's The Guardian controversy of the last few years, saying, nope, that was heavily exaggerated and overreported, and those results could potentially be mostly false.
Can I just stop now and go on about my day and have my egg slide off the pan like it's on a slip and slide and be happy?
Buddy, when I tell you that I read this article and I literally screamed and ordered Tupperware, I was like, yes! And I ordered the biggest set of Tupperware anybody's ever ordered. I was just like, fuck yeah, give me the most plastic to hold the most food the easiest.
what is it? Is this the kind of thing where it's like, but we just found out that nicotine is good for you. Science tips.
No, this is entirely, this is big plastic. This is the DuPont family. This is, no. Here's what's going on. When something like the microplastic study takes such hold of people, when something becomes so huge in mainstream science and in culture, what you're going to get is you're going to get more scrutiny on it from the rest of the scientific community than you would have if it didn't become such a big concern, right? Because now this is hugely important to people. And so a bunch of researchers that focus on this were like, whoa. Let's dial this down. Let's take a look. Let's be sure. Like, first of all, nobody wants to say that plastics are good because that's not what anybody's going to say. Plastics actually very bad. The manufacturing of them, the waste products, from not just from the manufacturing, but obviously the waste products from throwing away plastic and how long it takes plastic to break down and what plastic is doing to our ecosystem. Yeah. Regardless of whether they're getting through our blood-brain barrier, like that's the thing that finally, actually the one that really scared people was the testicles.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in my balls now.
That's the thing. It was so weird. Like people were like, "This is pretty bad," and then they released the thing that's like, "There's a lot of plastic in people's testicles," and all the men in the world went, "My testicles? This is danger."
Yeah.
Not in the food we're eating, not in our bloodstream, none of that. Not in the ground soil, not in the crops. What it was is it got to our testicles, and then men went, "Well, we got to do something about this." I don't know if you've heard about this, but my balls are in danger.
Yeah.
So listen, nobody's saying that anything about plastic is good.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what
How
we're
are my
looking
balls
at,
doing?
Huh?
How are my balls doing?
They might be doing better.
Okay. That's good news for my balls.
So here's the thing. The first big one was this headline last February, right? It was published. There was a study that was published in Nature that said the levels of microplastics in human brains may be rapidly rising, right?
Yeah.
And so this talked about MNPs. I'm gonna be using the term MNP. MNP is micro and nanoplastic. Okay.
Yeah.
And this study said that in dozens of postmortems that people carried out between 1997 and 2024. So we're looking at the brain tissue of the deceased. Huge levels of microplastic growth.
Like
right?
You could wrap food in brain tissue at this point. You could open the skull cavity and you like pull the brain like it's saran wrap. That's just how much microplastics were in there. That's what they told us.
It even makes that satisfying peel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real nice. But here's the thing. In November, the study has been challenged. There's a letter that's been written, a matters arising letter in Nature. So this is the same publication.
Okay.
Different group of scientists came out and said, "Hey,
what's a matters arising letter?"
Matters arising means like, "Hey, we read your article and there are some matters. We're looking into it. There's some matters arising with your conclusions. Where there's some concerning matters. We're concerned."
Were they saying like, "There's really nothing wrong with my balls because there's some matters arising"?
No. So, the scientists said, and this doesn't sound like much, but it's a science burn. Okay. This doesn't sound like anything, but this is like when a lawyer sends like a letter and you read it and it's legalese, but another lawyer reads it and is like, "Fuck this guy." The group of contesting scientists said The study, as reported, appears to face methodological challenges, such as limited contamination controls and lack of validation steps.
Damn.
Which may affect the reliability of the reported concentrations.
So they're saying like you spilled all your plastic into the study. You were like, you had playing with your action figures right over the brains that you were looking at, and some of the plastics from your 6 Spider-Man minifigs.
That's what happened. Is they were doing the brain autopsy, and they let their kid in, and their kid had like the Duplos.
Yeah.
You know, like the
well,
big.
You got to keep the kids busy while you're working, you know?
I know. And like nobody blames them for it, you know? And you know, the kid had the Duplos, which are the, you know, Legos for dumb kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear, listen, don't respond to this podcast with anything about how Duplos aren't Legos for dumb kids. I might know the truth and I refuse to acknowledge it. Basically, what happened was, this is according to one of, as diplomatic as that language was, one of the responders is Dr. Dusan Matarik at the Helmholtz Center for Environmental Research in Germany. Okay?
Nice.
And there's so many accents on this name that we don't have in America. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm sorry, Dr. Matarik, and I know that's also not your name. So what Dr. Matarik said is, fat is known to make false positives for polyethylene, right? So polyethylene urethane is the main ingredient in most plastics, right?
Wow. He's calling the brain fat.
You think about PVC, PVC plastics, right? Polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, you know, all this stuff. He was calling the brain fat, because here's the deal. Fat makes false positives for polyethylene. The brain is 60% fat.
Your mom's brain is 60% fat.
All of your mom's brains are 60% fat, Jeff.
Yeah.
Focus.
Okay, sorry.
So here's the way that they test for this. Basically, the way they test is they vaporize whatever matter they're testing. So in the case of brain matter, they vaporize it. They turn it into steam. They steam the brains.
Yeah.
Like
I love a good
scene
steam
from Temple
brain.
of Doom.
Yeah. I thought that was more of a soup, but you know, I'll go with it.
Yeah. It was more like a steamed brain. I like to think of it as steamed brain in a monkey head bowl.
Delicious.
So basically what they do is they steam this. They look at the vapor and they look for, they analyze it and they look for little particles and pings of specific chemicals. But the problem is polyurethane just looks like fat. And so about 60% of the time,
right? Fat looks like polyurethane.
They look like each other.
Right.
So about 60% of the time,
So they're saying like, oh, your brain is full of plastic. It's like, well, no, you're getting false positives from all the fat that's in your brain.
That's right. That's what they're saying. They're thinking that this is fundamentally unreliable. Even the bit where it was like, we're finding 10,000 nanoplastic particles per liter in bottled water. You remember that?
Yeah. Yes. Fat.
They're testing it the same way. They're testing it the same way. They're boiling the water, they're steaming it, and they're looking for the different chemicals. And it's like, hey, you could be getting false pings for any number of reasons in bottled water. Because the problem is this vaporization process, okay?
Yeah.
This is a vaporization process which just, once again, scientifically rolls off the tongue. Science loves branding. It's pi-gc-ms.
Okay.
And basically it's like, hey, it's cool technique. It's not quite ready for prime time yet.
Well, you know, it's interesting because one of the unexplained consequences of this that I've done a lot of reading about is why there's no sort of measurable effect. Like if all of a sudden we have way more plastic in our brains, there should be sort of a large scale effect. And you could say people are stupid and much stupider than they've ever been. And I wouldn't argue with that. But
No.
the sort of health effects should be profound, right? They
and
should
instead,
be large.
what we're doing, they should be massive. And instead, what we're doing is we're taking this fact and we're trying to, or these findings, and we're trying to shove them into things that we're already looking for a reason for, right?
Yeah.
So we're taking the fact that there's a billion particles of plastic in the brain and we're going, oh, is that why brain cancer is on the rise? Is that why more people are getting Alzheimer's and dementia? Is that why,
autism.
you know what I mean? We're taking the data and we're trying to make it fit.
Right.
Instead of looking for the actual cause specifically for each one of these things. The people that are on the challenging side of this are like, look, this isn't a dig at the other scientists. This is what one of the Dr. Cassandra Rowert, she's an environmental chemist at the University of Queensland in Australia. She's one of the people that signed this letter and is concerned about the finding. And she's like, look, we're not taking digs at other scientists. They're using these techniques because this is what we have available.
Right.
Until there's something better, this is what we've got.
So we got to figure out new ways to boil the brain, or figure out a new way to scrape it. What, have you tried scraping it?
Have you tried I don't know, looking twice?
Like, what can
have
we
you
do
tried
with
getting
brain?
another set of eyes on it?
Let's just take the brain. Let's throw some ideas against the wall, or I don't know, brain against the wall, whatever works. Let's figure out how we can measure the plastic in the brain a better way. How about we do that?
Yeah. Well, there are a few things, right? There are a few things where they're like, the technique is new. It's not the best. We were really hoping that somebody wouldn't try to make such a definitive statement using this technique yet.
Gotcha.
But there were also things that the creators of the study didn't do, either because they were unable to, or they just didn't think to do it. Things like operating room samples of brain tissue. Normally what you would do is, at the same time as you're getting this sample to test for contamination, you would get something called a blank sample. So the idea is like a blank sample is like a base level reading from the room of contaminants, right?
Like somebody's like, hey, somebody hand me some brain tissue. Like just anybody in the room, just anybody that you guys just
let me get some clean brain tissue that's been here for a while. No, it's more like, hey, let's get a vapor sample of the air in the room.
Oh.
Let's get some samples off of other objects in the room and see what the level of contamination in the room is, right? Like, that seems like a good place to start, right?
It's like when you're doing
operating theaters are supposed to be pretty clean.
Yeah.
You're still going to get contaminants in there.
Right.
Shouldn't we test for those?
So we don't even know the composition of the base level amount of plastic that was in the air, which seems like not a great thing to have to worry about in and of itself.
Right. But I mean, not just in the air, but like you think about, like, if somebody's laying on a bed in an operating theater, or in an OR, it's like, hey, what is the fiber composition of what they're laying on?
Yeah.
What is the fiber composition of the scrubs, of the doctors, of the gloves, right? Nitrile gloves and things like that, where it's like they're touching everything in the room.
Yeah.
So are there bits of this? Now, if there is a lot of plastic in the air, then I mean, we might as well just fucking give up.
Yeah,
you're not wrong there. We might as well just fucking give up, dog. Yeah. Like,
it's not that there's a ton of plastic in the brain at all. It's just that it's all around us all the time in the ambient air we breathe.
So what they're saying is, hey, there's a lot of stuff that you should have done to isolate for the environment There's a lot of stuff that you should be doing to isolate for the fact that polyurethane and fat can look alike.
Yeah.
Like, are you taking enough samples from the same source
Right.
to sort of like see about consistency in your readings, which can be tough, right? Because if you're using brain tissue or donated brain tissue, whatever, it's not like you have access to all of it at once, right?
Yeah.
You may not be able to test 50 samples from the same brain.
Right. How much brain did we steam?
Yeah, how many? You want to. It's like meal prep. You don't want to steam too much broccoli at once, because then you've got these bags of broccoli.
Yeah.
And they get all soggy and weird.
Yeah, and then there's all kinds of plastic up all in the broccoli because you had to put them in Ziploc bags.
That's right, because you don't want to wash the fucking ones that aren't made of plastic, because
Silicone.
washing a bag is stupid.
That's right.
A silicone bag? You're gonna wash it?
No, thank you. I'd rather let the broccoli go bad.
So listen, they've basically gone through and they've looked at every single one of these microplastic studies, and they're like, hey, these all have the same fundamental issues, the same procedural issues. Now, what do the scientists who published all this stuff
what's their
have
retort?
to say? What's the retort? One of the scientists said, like, hey, to kind of steal a sentiment from the television show Ted Lasso. We all love Ted Lasso and his folksy wisdom.
Yeah.
And publicly serving women with legal documents when they're having the biggest public professional day of their lives because you're petty and vindictive. And then writing a TV show that makes you seem like the folksiest, nicest guy in the world. I can't be the asshole. Look at me. I'm playing Ted Lasso. Anyway, That's a thing that I can't get into right here. But to steal from Ted Lasso, bioanalytical essays are never going to be perfect.
Hey, you can't make an omelet. You know what I'm saying?
You can't make one. Try.
Because you can't make an omelet without a nonstick surface.
Listen, you're going to need Teflon, dude. Trust me. I've scoured.
So
holy shit. So they said the best we can do is keep asking for help and accepting it. And if you can keep on doing that, you'll always be moving toward better, which is beautiful. And listen, I admire the sentiment.
Yeah.
And if this was Ted Lasso or a classic film, mid-budget film about a sports team trying to make it and coming through in the end, and maybe they don't win, but they do their best, and that's the victory in and of itself. That's great. You published multiple studies in Nature saying that this shit was cool.
Yeah, you know what?
This shit was cool.
You can't stand on a mountaintop and shout, "Be scared, everybody," without maybe being wrong. You know what I mean? It's just that's just the nature of the beast. You can't be in the crowded theater and yell fire, and maybe it was just the light that was on. But hey,
it's a lesson not to yell fire in a crowded theater. I don't think so. I don't think it is.
Because we managed to put this fear into the minds and hearts and fatty brains of every single person that reads and listens to anything. And now, if it was wrong, you know what? Hey, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? That's my question. What are you going to do? You know? But I will say this, okay? If there is a possibility of this and they are confident in their results, and one of the doctors said, like, listen, we said in the study that the level of microplastics could be half of what we're reporting up to 10 times what we were reporting. We said that in the study. And then which to me is like, okay, fair. You're presenting the data realistically, but then I'm also looking at it and I'm saying, then why publish yet?
Yeah.
If it could be anywhere from half to 10 times as much, I guess it's the 10 times as much, right? Like that's what you're worried about.
Sure.
And that's why you want to publish.
Yeah.
And I will say this, I don't think plastic is healthy.
Well, yeah, that's what I was hoping this was going to be about, is us really realizing it actually makes you stronger and smarter, and you can run faster, and maybe you're double jointed now because there's so much plastic up in your ligaments. You know what I mean?
Maybe you could be like the Plastic Man.
Yeah. Or Baby Plas, you know?
Yeah. Any of the fun / body horror characters that we know.
That's right.
Reed Richards.
That's what I was hoping for is, hey, our bad. It turns out plastic rules and is just going to make us live longer and be happier. I'll take maybe we don't have as much plastic in our bodies as we thought, but it doesn't feel like this is a complete repudiation on, the overabundance of plastics in our food and near our food, around our food.
I mean, look, here's the thing. If you want to take a look at plastic itself, okay? Plastic production has gone up by 200 times since the 1950s, right? We're making 200 times more plastic than we were then. And so we're looking at we're looking at 1 billion tons of plastic a year by the year 2060.
That seems like a lot.
1 billion tons.
Yeah.
Feels like too much.
I do love my little minifigs.
I think if there's 1 billion tons of anything except like rock or grass or seawater, there's probably an issue, right?
Yeah. If there's 1 billion tons of anything that isn't made automatically in nature.
Yeah. Is it 1 billion ton of tree?
Yeah.
Or is it 1 billion ton of like ink?
Yeah. Yeah. A human had to exist for 1 billion tons of this to be here, and it is now. That seems
like a lot.
Seems like a lot. Yeah.
It seems like a lot. It seems like I don't know anything about anything, but could we get by with 500 million tons of plastic a year? Is there a way that we could get by with 500 million tons instead of 1 billion?
I don't know, man. Do you see those new Lego sets? Oof, so good.
They're so good. They got the smart brick now.
Oh, 500 million, baby.
An expert review published in the Lancet, of course, the mortal enemy of nature.
Yeah.
Constantly, they've been in fistfights. The editor of Lancet and the editor of Nature. Have you ever seen once a year they're down at the pub and they just roll up their sleeves and they just fist fight all the way through the city?
Yeah. Yeah. Neither of them gets hurt though. Their wrists are very weak. But
that's right.
It is quite the spectacle.
It's something, and they do it every year. The Lancet called plastics a grave, growing, and an under-recognized danger to human and planetary health. Okay,
sure.
And regardless of whether it's getting into our testicles, the way that these studies said, we're looking at something from like the extraction of fossil fuels, right? We're talking about you need oil for plastic.
Yeah.
And we know how dangerous that's becoming for the environment and how bad that's becoming for the environment as we try to find more and more sources for oil.
Yeah.
Their production, right? Air pollution, toxic waste, all this stuff and then throwing them away.
Yeah, they don't biodegrade.
So it's like, look.
Yeah. But like, how are my balls doing?
Yeah, it's as long as it's not in my balls.
That's right. It could be in the oceans, like a giant island of unbiodegradable trash.
Listen,
I'm fine with that. As long as
I'm not a marine biologist, but I'm pretty comfortable saying fish don't have balls.
That's right.
So if fish don't have balls, give them the plastic. It's fine.
Come on.
Where's it going to go?
Yeah.
Where's it going to go? Are you telling me that it gets into their body and into their gills and it's causing like a huge issue? Baby. What did I just tell you? They don't have balls.
By the way, did they steam some balls to find out how much plastic was in our testes?
They did. They steamed some testes. Some testes matter at the very least. I don't know if they did a full ball, but they did steam some matter. Here's the deal. There is the people who are sort of against this say, like, listen, it's a super immature field. There's not a lot of labs that can do these analyses well. When it comes to solid tissue samples, the difficulty is they're usually taken in an operating theater that's full of plastic, right? Or an environment that's full of plastic. So they have all these problems. And then the shade gets thrown, Jeff.
Yeah.
The shade gets thrown. One of these, Professor Maria Lamourie at Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam. I'm so sorry. She said, I think most of the, let's say, lesser quality analytical papers come from groups that are medical doctors or metabolomic scientists, and they're not driven by analytical chemistry knowledge. Oh,
dude.
Oh, this is full of burns, dude.
that is brutal.
The scientists are being brutal with one another. What she's saying here is like, stay in your fucking lane, dog.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's saying. Yeah.
She's saying, look, you're a medical doctor, and I get that you want to be sure that people are healthy, but you are not an expert in analyzing these compounds. You are not an expert in running these tests, and you should have had an expert look at these tests, but I don't think you did, because I think you wanted to be the guy who published this paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think you wanted us to be on the paper. I think you wanted you on the paper.
It's like some East Coast, West Coast shit, man.
It truly is
some heat.
But I feel there's so much more at stake with a science beef, which is what I love.
Yeah.
I love when I feel like when scientists are arguing about stuff like this, I'm like, yeah. No matter, like, it's like, I feel like Ken Watanabe. I'm like, let them fight. You know,
I love it.
Whoever wins, we wind up in a better position.
That's
right.
That's what science is about, right? Is let the truth, the ideas, the measurable, actual data win. Make that win. And that's what we like. That's the scientific method. That's what peer review is all about.
Yeah.
That said, I do wonder in this case if it's just like we're arguing about degree, right? Are we arguing about like, hey, it's bad. Oh my God, it's extremely bad. Well, maybe it's not as extremely bad as you measured, but still bad. Like my worry is that it's not the difference here isn't not bad. It's just not as bad.
Yes. And I think and scientists on both sides, researchers on both sides of this sort of debate are saying the same thing. This is going to be a matter of degree. There is no argument on the fact that there's some level of particle of plastic inside of us, simply because the things that we eat, everything we do, everything we interact with is made of plastic. So there's going to be some plastic in there. And so they're saying like, hey, this is the challenge, is knowing how much. And some of the researchers on the side of the letter said, like, listen, this is Professor Lamourie says, I really think we should collaborate on a much nicer basis with much more open communication. Don't try to burn down each other's results. We need to move forward instead of fighting each other.
Guys. Let's hug it out. Come on.
Hey, there's this one scientist on the battlefield. There's Spider-Man in the middle of the airfield, and he's just trying to have fun. You know what I mean? And he's just like, oh, geez, all you guys are my heroes, and we're all doing such good work. And then you've got the other superheroes, and they're just like, I want to punch you. I'm going to solve this through punching.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. So yes, they do need to work together, because this is a matter of degree.
Yeah.
And you might wonder what the degree is and how worried we should be about it, right? That's how this all got started.
Yeah.
How this all got started is like, oh no, there are plastics. Nothing's supposed to get through the blood-brain barrier.
Right.
That's the blood-brain barrier, right?
Right.
So now that they're arguing, how much should I be worried?
Tell me
And
how much Tupperware I can have.
yeah, do I have to go back to the silicone bags? They suck.
They totally
You can't
suck.
clean the corners. You turn it
No.
inside out. It doesn't matter.
No, you can't dry it even. It's terrible.
It's awful, dude. It's awful. So Professor Lamoureux says, like, look, a lot of this, the reason we got to work together is like a lot of this is leading to fear, uncertainty, things like, oh, treatments that claim to clean microplastics from your blood, you know, like
Yeah.
all of this crazy stuff. And so they're like, look, there's no $10,000 treatment that's going to clean microplastics from your blood. You don't need to be that worried. We do need to figure out this to a degree that we can present real findings, because anytime that you do something like this and you present findings that can be shot down, you're just giving governments, lobbyists, industry more ammo to be like, science doesn't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let us keep making the plastics. So asking these scientists who wrote the letter, how much do you think we should be concerned? Professor Lamoureux said, like, hey, I can't tell you how much you should be concerned, but I can tell you that I do take precautions myself, because if you know something is an unsafe compound, try to limit that compound in your life. So she says, I try to use less plastic materials, especially cooking or heating food or drinking from plastics. Anything that like heats plastic and then you eat out of it, not great.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of back to where we started though, right?
We're kind of back to where we started.
Yeah.
Ventilate your house, she says, you know, but here's the thing that's really crazy. Dr. Matterick says, hey, there are very easy things you can do to hugely reduce this. If you're concerned about water, which is what most people were concerned about,
don't drink water.
Don't drink water ever again, is what she said. You don't need it. Here's the thing that we've been lying to you about all these years. You don't need water.
If there's one thing that science has proven indisputably, it's that water is a luxury.
It's a luxury. You're made of so much water. Every time you drink more water, it's wasteful. It's wasteful because there's so much water in you already. Dr. Matterick says, like, the easiest thing to do, just use a charcoal filter. Charcoal filter gets rid of most of the MNPs.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a charcoal. Like, I've got a Brita that's got a charcoal filter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
Now, is the charcoal filter encased in plastic? Does that worry me? Yes.
So rad. Yeah.
Yes.
So rad, though. Yeah.
Is the pitcher itself plastic? Yes.
Filter out the plastic and then put it right back in.
I'm just like, I mean, logically, I know that even though the casing for the filter is plastic and the pitcher is plastic, the water goes through the filter.
Yeah.
And then comes out of the plastic nozzle. But then it goes into the water. Like, I know I'm getting rid of most of the plastics, right?
Yeah.
I know that, but it still feels bad that there's any plastic in the chain at all once I know.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is like, hey, you probably don't need to stress about that if you're doing as much as you can. So sure.
That's a little reassuring.
Yeah. And, like they're saying, don't eat anything or drink anything that's been heated in plastic if you can avoid it.
Yeah. But those ready-to-make meals are so yummy with the little plastic. Because I pop little holes in them to let the steam not come out,
Yeah. You can just transfer those to a plate and put like a paper towel over that.
I gotta wash the plate.
Yeah, then you gotta wash the plate. Yeah. I would rather lose brain. Can I be honest with you? I'm thinking about the state of my sink right now.
Yeah.
I would rather lose brain.
Lose brain than wash a plate? Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm being very honest. This is not part of the bit. So much of my sink now, like once that full stick pan gets into the sink, it backs up the whole works. It backs up the whole works.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to clean. And then other stuff gets piled in because you're like, I got to do the pan.
Yeah.
And it's like, or the pan is sitting on top of dishes. And it's like, well, I can't do anything with the pans on top of it.
It's just,
what am I going to do?
Try. You know?
Why am I even trying is what
Yeah.
I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
Why am I even trying? And that's what the letter said, is it said, stop trying. They wrote a big letter that was like, Dear Science, knock it off. No, but I do think this is interesting. I am going to keep trying to minimize the amount of plastic, and because I think if this did anything, it brought into my mindfulness and my consciousness, hey, I am pretty aware of how many dangerous or at least unhealthy chemicals are in everything. Why do I not think about that more? You know, why am I not thinking about that more every day?
Yeah.
And so at the very least, what this study did was it made me go, oh yeah, I'll just try to minimize that a bit.
Yeah.
I'll just try to minimize it.
I think that's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
You can't live in the forest and only eat berries. You know what I mean? I
could if there was internet.
Oh, it'd be so sweet.
If I could get like deep enough into the forest where it's just berries, but also Wi-Fi.
You know what I would want though? I would want to be able to just pick berries like once a week.
Yeah.
And then like be able to keep the extra berries in some sort of like sealable container that keeps it fresh.
Yeah, because you don't want to go out for berries every day.
Not every day, you know. So, but I could and I don't want to have to wash that container either. I don't want to be able to just throw it away if I'm done with it.
Yeah. So if we could work on that, that'd be great. But no, I would say if you're somebody who's been extremely worried about the microplastics situation, this should give you a little bit of relief from your worry.
I'm very curious to see where this goes from here, right? I mean, I want be like, hey guys, keep steaming brains and balls, keep steaming them, but let's figure out a way to be a little more precise with our brain and ball steamings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's right. If you're going to take the time to steam a brain and ball, do it right.
That's right. So,
measure twice, steam brain once.
That's what we always say. And so the next step from this, if taking this challenge to the findings seriously and figuring out a more rigorous test for this and coming out with a revised number of how much my brain is fucked would be lovely.
It would be lovely to know how much my brain is fucked. If they could get on that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the number's only climbing every day. So the earlier I can get those results, the better.
That's right. That's right.
Let us know how you feel about this. And if you're going to do like I did and reorder all of your Tupperware.
Oh, it's so much more convenient, the Tupperware. Oh, my God.
Great place to let us know is on the Discord.
Yeah, a fantastic place where cool people hang out. All you got to do to get access to that Discord is head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. It's only $1 a month. You get access to the Discord. It just really helps us out to even have that baseline level of support. But if you have a little extra scratch to send our way, oh my goodness, you can get more cool stuff. It helps us out even more. You get those intros at the beginning of the show that you only hear the end of. You get video content, so much more, all available at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.